We're starting today with LA and that chippy paint technique to get the antique furniture look without the antique. I love it. LA, what exactly is chippy paint?
Chippy paint is a look on a piece of furniture where essentially it's weathered and aged over possibly decades. It's that kind of piece of furniture where all those layers of paint from years and years and years have kind of cracked and peeled away, and it has a really unique texture to it. Texture is really the key point of this. It's a look that I love to do because there's no right way to do it, which is awesome, especially for a novice DIYer. And I've done this type of technique on so many pieces of thrifted and upcycled pieces of furniture over the years. It's a very unique look, I would say.
You do it so well, and this is sort of like fast forwarding. Instead of going antiquing and finding that old piece, just make this piece look like it's like really old, and I love that. So how do we get the look, LA?
Well, you don't have to wait decades. You can achieve a look of decades of wear in just one day. And I'm actually using a piece from my own front foyer. Now, funny enough, it was a beautiful wood piece to start with. Actually, I should say wood veneer piece. So yes, you can paint over wood veneers. But because it was in our front foyer, it did get a lot of wear over the years naturally, but not in a good way. So when I was starting this piece, the most important thing always is the preparation. Now, I'm using a secret ingredient to create this look, and that is chalked paint. Chalk paint is one of my favorite mediums because it is so easy to work with, but my favorite part about it is that you don't need to sand, which saves me a whole lot of mess and time. The one thing that you do still need to really put some time into is cleaning the piece thoroughly. And I actually love using Gloss Off because it's a micro etcher. Not only will it clean the surface, but it prepares the surface to allow paint to adhere to it, which is really, really important. So, are you ready to start?
I'm ready to start. We have cleaned. We have our beautiful space now. What do we do?
Well, now we're gonna make a mess. This is where I always say to people, if it looks horrible, you're doing it right. And the funniest thing, I have to say, I get messages from viewers all the time, specifically about chalk paint, saying, Leigh Ann, I've been doing the chalk paint and it just doesn't look very good, help. And my response is, it looks perfect. Keep going. So the first thing that I've done, you'll notice here, is I put this kind of turquoisey blue color in the chalked paint. I did a very, very light coat, what I would almost call a dry brush. And that's actually a really key point. You want to make sure that you're using a brush, not a roller with this project, because a brush will allow you to build up the paint finish really, really thick, and brush strokes are a good thing. You want that painterly look. Now you'll notice I'm using actually what is considered to be a chalked paint brush, and it's almost an oval shape. This is designed to hold so much paint in it that you can build up the texture that much quicker. So we've already done a dry brush of the turquoise color. Now you'll notice on this side here, I've also gone ahead and put kind of a navy color, but this is a secret step. This is kind of the magic of how to get the textured look. I was playing around with how to build up the texture, and oftentimes I'll just cake on the paint, but in this case, I tried something totally different that worked really, really well. I actually used all-purpose drywall compound, and I did about a 1-to-1 ratio, and I actually mixed the paint right into it. And when I use my stir stick here, and I'll show you on camera, you get kind of this navy colored mud, and you could mix any color with this. Now, the whole idea is that you want to layer all of these different colors of paint so that for the final step when you're doing sanding, you reveal all of those years and years and years, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, of wear. Now, I'm not going to apply this with a paintbrush. I'm actually troweling it on the edges, and you'll see I'm even letting it goop over the edges and creating a ton of texture. You want to let that dry, and then as soon as that's dry, you can either top coat it or, and by top coat I mean put a solid color, which we'll get to in 1 second, or you can add in as many additional colors as you like. And I literally just, this is as easy as it is. Make a mess. You can make a mess. That to me looks perfect. And then you'll see on this side, I've just spray painted the entire piece with a linen white chalked paint. And here's the magic. When that's dry, so this is solid, once this is dry, this is when you go in with either sandpaper or a metal scraper, or in the case of all the drywall compound, check this out. You can literally peel away, look at, chip the paint away, and you're revealing all of the colors underneath there. All of those colors. And then you go in with a little bit of sandpaper. Where do I have my, here's my scraper. Look at this. See all those colors coming through?
Yeah.
It's that chippy paint look. And once you do all of this and sand it smooth, so sanding it is the most important step, just to smooth everything out. You want to make sure that you're putting a clear matte top coat on it, just to make sure that the piece is well protected.
See, that
so
makes a lot of
and looks
sense.
so unique.
So you're building up all those layers just so you can basically chip them off. And when you're chipping it off, you're not like, you're just arbitrarily going through with your scraper, right? There's no rhyme or reason.
That's exactly it. And here's the best part. Chalk paint is so forgiving that if you take a little too much off in one area and you think, ooh, I went a little too chippy, just go in and paint a little bit of more of your top coat color over, just to, you can play with it and model this to get the exact look that you want. But the fun is the reveal of like the 3, 4, 5 colors, however many you want to add.
And of course, we have a picture of the final reveal for you right now. LA, that looks so good. See, you wouldn't know if that was like a piece of furniture from the late 1800s. Very good job. Thank you.